Hello, and welcome to the last part of our series on the history of artificial intelligence. In this part, we are going to discuss the role of governments in the development of the field of artificial intelligence. In the development of AI, the governments usually have two important roles. The first one is to create the national artificial intelligence strategies. And this means, what's the government going to do in relation to AI? What are the objectives? What are the investments to be made? How they are going to cooperate and to promote the cooperation, for example, between the academia and the industry stakeholders, how they're going to implement these policies and to monitor what's going on, what's the necessary infrastructure so that artificial intelligence solutions and companies can prosper within their countries, and finally, all the politics and regulations around it. The first national AI strategy that was published in 2017 by the Canadian government. And then we have the other important role played by the governments in relation to AI, which involves the regulations and the policies. By this, we mean the governance, the ethics of AI, or the ethics in the AI development. Remember when we started our discussion about the past of artificial intelligence with the laws of robotics, which are basically laws that try to regulate and discuss the ethics of the field. They also have to devise all the legal frameworks related to the area, public engagement, issues related with research, development, and innovation, and also education. And the first main regulation and policies involved artificial intelligence was published by the European Union in 2021. I do recommend, if you're interested in this subject, I do recommend that you visit the OECD.ai website. So the OECD created a website totally devoted to artificial intelligence. In this website, you will find the main national AI policies and strategies. And we have here information for over 60 countries. You can browse by country, you can browse by policy instruments and by target groups. So I do recommend that you visit this site if you're interested in knowing more about them. But if I were to summarize to you, I would take the national strategies on AI by the European Union, and we can divide that into 5 main branches. First one is to look at human capital involving the education, the formal training of AI professionals, and also the vocational learning. Then we have all the policies related to the research, development, and innovation for AI. Then we have the branch that discusses how we are going to collaborate in topics related with AI, including the collaboration between the private and public sectors, and how to map and promote the various players and solutions in AI. The fourth branch is the regulation, and this has become so important that we have a whole trend line related to policies and regulations related to artificial intelligence. And finally, the infrastructure necessary to run and to promote the development of AI. So if you look at most national strategy of artificial intelligence, they will be pretty much talking about these very same things. To illustrate here, I just brought 2 bills, and this is actually a sandbox on artificial intelligence and data protection. This was proposed in Brazil. The idea is to gather idea around these topics, and this happened in October 23. In the United States, we had the executive order on the safe, secure, and trustworthy development and use of AI. This was also published in October 23 by the White House. So there is a lot going on by the governments in the sense of creating policies and trying to regulate what can and what cannot be done in relation to artificial intelligence. What I can say is that we've been observing an exponential growth of the field, and if we look at, for example, the global AI marketing, it's expected to reach 1.35 trillion by the year 2030. If we consider that in 22 it was around 86.9 billion, we are estimating growth that is over 13 times in a time span of around 80 years. AI is also expected to contribute a 21% net increase to the United States GDP by the year 2030. The market is expanding very quickly at compound average growth rate of around 37% between 23 and 30. By 25, we are expected to have a demand for almost 100 million professionals in AI over the world. And finally, in 22, we saw that more than a third of the businesses reported to have hired at least one professional to work in AI-related tasks. So what we can see is really an exponential growth of the field, and I personally do not expect that this pace reduces over the next few years. On the contrary, I think it's going to increase. And to conclude my talk, I just decided to prompt ChatGPT to see what conclusion it could bring me. And I want to detach here the fact that it's saying that we stand on the brink of a new era where AI is no longer just a tool, but a partner. And that's pretty much the way I see AI. I use different types of AI solutions during my whole day to do many different types of tasks and to help me to do different types of tasks. And so the message is, let's embrace this journey with responsibility and foresight, ensuring that as we advance, we do so with the intention of benefit all of humanity. I found it very interesting that it mentioned it here because my perspective of AI is the perspective of a human-centered AI. And by this, I mean the development of AI techs focused on human well-being, that is focusing on the betterment of society. Thank you again for watching, and see you in our next course or our next series.